2, 3. All right. Welcome, everyone. We're here with Christina in her front garden. We're going to have a quick chat about why you should think about planting edibles at the front. Go ahead, Christina.
Hi, welcome to the garden. So as you can guess, this is the front yard, not the backyard. And it's maybe not so common to see an edible garden in the front yard. And the reason that we did this in our front yard, well, there were a few different reasons, but overall, the front yard was made up largely of kind of these orphan ornamentals that I had collected from the discount corner in Bunnings, and also just a lot of grass that was not doing well. And this part of the garden is on a very steep slope. I was really not sure what would happen if we pulled up the lawn and tried to grow things that we could eat, because the lawn itself appeared to be struggling so much, but I thought we would give it a go. We weren't happy with what was here. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on some fancy landscaping solution, and I also didn't want to take up a lot of resources from the planet, really, in kind of building a dream garden, so to speak. So we started by ripping up the lawn, and we used sheet mulching, which I was very skeptical about. So I'm pretty new to gardening, just a couple of years in, and have been very heavily inspired by permaculture. But I just could not believe, because even though our grass was not happy grass, it was very resilient, and I couldn't believe that just ripping it up, putting a layer of compost and a layer of, oh sorry, did I get that wrong? A layer of wet newspaper and a layer of compost and a layer of mulch, I did not think that would suppress the grass, but it worked. Yeah. I really recommend, if you're considering de-lawning a part of your garden, that you consider sheet mulching. I really highly recommend it.
It's obviously worked, because you got how many pumpkins this year from that area?
Yeah, we got around 30 pumpkins. I should have done a proper count, but yeah, just a massive amount of pumpkins. And some people are worried about what their neighbours will think when they do something like an edible front garden. And ours was quite drastic, because we did take up almost all of the lawn, not just patches of it. But then there's nothing like sharing some produce with the neighbours to have them thinking, maybe it's not such a bad idea after all.
It's a very good conversation starter, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And when we were pulling up the lawn, it's interesting you say that. Yeah. It started so many conversations with people who were walking past. It was during the end, just towards the end of the lockdown period in 2021. Yeah. And so lots of people were out walking, and everyone was interested in what we were doing. We were talking about permaculture. So it really actually did lend itself to that kind of community, people care element of permaculture. And, you know, that's just been, people are really interested in what's happening in the front yard, because people can't see in your backyard most of the time.
Exactly. And sometimes the front yard is the best spot to grow your edibles, because it gets the most sun. And
Yep, absolutely. And we're definitely feeling that in our front yard. Our backyard is very sun exposed, particularly to the afternoon sun, and so some things just won't grow, and a lot of things that even should grow well in those conditions just get burnt to a crisp. And so the front yard has really been where we've gotten most of our food from over this summer. Had an enormous crop of tomatoes, enormous crop of zucchinis, enormous crop of pumpkins. So I'm hopeful that will continue into the winter months, because we've had just more success than I could ever have imagined from the front yard.
Brilliant. So for anyone hesitating to rip up your front lawn, hopefully this will convince you.
Even if you just start with a small part, you don't have to go crazy like we did and rip it all up. But yeah, I highly recommend you just experiment with a little patch
and give it a go.
Yep.
Now I'll do a quick screen through Christina's front garden just to show everyone how productive it is. And really beautiful, actually. Got a lot of flowers out here, and I'll just quickly screen through the front. And there's a couple of pumpkins still left at the end of the season. So that used to be all covered up in pumpkin.
Yep. A beautiful sea of green.
Sea of green. All right. Well, thank you very much for that and introducing us to your garden. So, bye.
Bye.